Welcome.
All right, we're at the Pole Creek Trailhead and ready to begin our adventure.
Okay, so we're ready to start?
Yep, let's do it.
We are very excited about this trip, and we're so excited you've come along with us. We come to a trail junction, and we're going to be going to Photographer's Point. It's 6.5 miles to this point, and this is Eckland Lake. There are two top lakes. We just passed one, now we're passing this one. Baby moose and a mama. She doesn't seem too worried.
Which is good.
Okay, George, what'd you think of today?
It was a good day.
This is the map we're using. It's Beartooth Publishing, Wind River Range North. This is what we did today. We started here at Pole Creek Trailhead, came up the Pole Creek, took this junction here at Miller Park to the left, went up here to Photographer's Point, over here, and took this junction to the left, over here to Eckland Lake. Then we took the junction to the right, up to Two Top Lakes, past Mary's Lake, and then right in this area here is where we came across a mother moose and a baby moose. And then believe we are camped right in this area, and it's about 10.1 miles to that point.
The first part of the hike is all trees, and then you kind of open up a little bit into some meadows, and then up to Photographer's Point. What did you think of Photographer's Point?
It was pretty cool. When we went back, it was better than I remembered it when we got up there the first time.
From there, we hiked over to Eckland, which is like 2 miles. Yeah. So then we got to our camp that night, stopped hiking right around 6.
We had great dinner. Yeah.
We brought in real Parmesan cheese.
Chicken Alfredo pasta and pesto chicken.
Oh, the pesto chicken with Parmesan cheese. Oh my goodness.
Well, I think it's about time for us to go in.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are getting kind of bad.
Yeah, this is going to be good night.
Good morning. As you can see, we're about ready to head out. What did you think of this campsite, George?
It was good. It was quiet. Extremely quiet overnight.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Let's get going.
So today we go up to Cook Lake, and then we go over to Spider Lake, and then up over Angels Pass. We'll see how far we get.
We're hiking along, and fortuitously, we ran into Brian DeLay, a fellow YouTuber. So I got so excited when I saw you.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you recognize me.
Yeah. You want to say anything?
No, it's just great to meet these guys, and they're out for a big trip, carrying some big packs, and I hope they have a very fun and successful trip.
Well, thank you very much. This is the Fremont Trail, Highline Trail, Cook Lake Loop Trail Junction, and we're going to be going to Cook Lake. That's Angels Pass, straight ahead.
So So elevation gain to this point was 1730, and we're about 6.2 miles in for the day. Here at Spider Lake.
Yep.
Ready to camp.
This is Spider Lake. This is Angel's Peak. We started at our camp, came down the Pole Creek Trail to this junction, crossed Pole Creek here, came up to this junction, came up this trail to this junction, came this way, up to this outlet of Cook Lake, came along the creek, up and over this mountain, along here, across the creek there, Spider Lake, and we are camped right in this area right here. We're on the trail by what, about 10?
Yeah.
Get up, hike about a mile and a half, cross over the Pole Creek, head on up to Cook Lakes. At the lower Cook Lake, we take a right at the creek, and up the creek we go. And we hike about 2.5 miles up to Spider Lake. And what'd you think of Spider Lake?
That was cool. Didn't fish it at all.
It was a beautiful view. Okay, we got our first real close-up look at Angel's Pass. What was your first thought of looking at Angel's Pass?
Pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
It looked like there was a sheer cliff that was guarding the top, which sort of was.
Yeah, and that was where the moon came up.
Yeah.
Right next to the mountain, you could see the earth moving. It's coming up fast.
Yeah.
Not quite a full moon.
Not quite.
Okay, you can see the earth move.
Yeah.
That's unfreaking believable.
I know, it's awesome.
Well, what do you think about today?
We went a little less distance than I would have liked, but
Right. What was your favorite part of the day?
probably the beef stroganoff. That peak refuel beef stroganoff is amazing. It tastes like something you could get at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I was telling Jordan earlier that you'd go in the back of Olive Garden and you see them taking beef stroganoff out of peak refuels and putting it on the plate.
It wouldn't be too far-fetched.
It was that good.
It was really good.
Okay, well, my favorite part of the day was the panorama that I got of this whole area.
Oh.
It was beautiful.
And for me, I mean, the moonrise, getting some photos of that was really cool. And just, I think the peace, kind of the serenity of this lake, it's nice.
Yeah.
Lots of space, being able to, look 360 degrees and see way out there. There's the other camp, you're down in the trees. It's just not the same as when you can see for miles.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good night.
well, we're ready to go over Angel Pass. As ready as we can be, at least.
That's right. Well, we've lightened our load a little bit.
A little bit.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
kind enough to let us get up on top without any weather.
Yeah. Fortune has smiled upon us.
It has. You know, we just need to get down with these clouds.
So it could have been ice, but the fact that there's not is nice.
It doesn't look like we're going to need crampons. How do you see us going down?
It looked like mostly down the center.
Right straight down?
Mm-hmm.
That's a boulder hopping nightmare right there. And coming down to the lake is right below Angel's Pass. And it's a no-namer. And I'm going to presume it has no fish in it. And I might be wrong, but that's okay.
Finally back on real solid ground.
Yeah, grass right now.
I cannot tell you how much of a relief that is. It's just kind of stressful. I mean, it's just a never-ending boulder field.
Well, a mile.
Well, it wasn't like flat bouldering. The majority of that was downhill, not totally stable.
Yeah. Whew. That's done.
That's way more fun than coming down the regular way.
So we're gonna make camp right in this area here. We started here at Spider Lake and worked our way up this side of Angel Pass, weaved our way up and over, and then we came straight down on boulder fields down to the lake. We finally reached grass about right here, and then we came across here up high and then crossed this creek right here, the outlet, and we are camped right here. Get up, you take a cold dip,
Take my swim.
and then we pack up, start our approach of Angel Pass. Took us a couple hours to get up to the top. I'd studied a lot about the topo of it before we got there, so I kind of had a pretty good idea of how to approach it.
It ended up being on the left side.
Yeah.
So we got up the summit, spectacular. Really cool view.
When we saw the other side, it was like all boulder field. And going straight down, where I know we should have stayed to the left, like I had studied, and then we would hit grass.
So we got down off the pass.
We got the first lake, then we hiked over to the second lake. Okay, and then we crossed over the creek of that second lake, made a camp. The most memorable part of that camp, Angel's Pass.
And the sunset. Remember when the sunset at that second lake, and I took all those cool pictures? You went into the tent. I took pictures and then I read. I read until actually the moon came up. I was reading just the moonlight. It was really nice. I'd say let's go to bed.
All right.
Okay.
Good night. Good morning. This is a shot of the view around our campsite. The day begins. Indeed it does. It's about 8:30 and it's our earliest start yet.
Yep.
And our intentions are we're gonna get over to Four Creeks Lake, or Flying Monkey Lake as that one guy called it.
That's right.
Where the big golds are. That's the goal.
Okay.
It'll be the first day fishing for us, hopefully. Well, I don't know if we'll fish today, but this is the longest we've been without putting our line in the water at all.
Yeah.
This is taking some discipline.
I know.
This is unusual for us.
It's like, well, should we just stop at one lake and fish and
I know.
you know and call it good? No. We've caught 16 inchers before.
Yeah.
And there's 16 inchers right down here in Dennis Lake, and we don't want to do that.
Yep.
We're after the big goldens.
Promise of having that
down there, you know, 2, 3, 5 pounds maybe, that's tempting.
Right.
And just the challenge of getting there. It's been a challenging hike.
Right. That's our first glimpse of Upper Golden Lake.
We are at Upper Golden Lake.
Yeah, it's a man-made trail, and we haven't seen a man-made trail in about 9 miles. We're at the top of Upper Golden Lake. Change our socks, get a snack, and then we're gonna attack the pass up over to Camp Lake. The furthest lake down there is Golden Lake. The next lake is Louise Lake, and then Upper Golden here. There's a lot of water moving from Upper Golden into Louise. I think there was like 5 streams, maybe even 6 that flowed into Upper Golden. And that's where we came from. I believe that's Golden Lake. No, that's Upper Golden Lake. No, gotta be Golden Lake. Hell, I don't know. There's a lake down in that corner. I believe we are at the summit of this pass. There are like 4 fault summits coming up from. That is where we came from, and I'm up on top of the pass, just about ready to descend. From camp this morning to right here is 4.4 miles, and it's about 1,400 to 1,500 feet in elevation gain. This is like what you would hope Nirvana looks like. Like, this is just some next level shit. This is not what I thought we came for, but I think this is what I'm going to remember the most. Like the last, 2 miles, it's just been jaw-dropping. It's just so cool. I can't stop grinning. I feel like I'm grinning like an idiot. This is what I would achieve a meditative state. I would be here. Camp Lake down there. We're gonna walk past that. We've arrived at Camp Lake. That is the outlet of Camp Lake. We are bushwhacking down the mountain. Okay, we're coming up on Four Creeks Lake. Oh my God, there it is. We made it. I'm not doing anything but fishing right this moment. There's our campsite.
is what we did today. We started here and we went between these two lakes, came down here, worked our way, went between these two lakes, and then came down along the creek and came down to Golden Lake, and then up to the top of Golden Lake, and then up this trail, up over this pass, into this absolutely incredible gorge, and hiked through there, and then down, switchbacks down to Camp Lake, and had a beautiful view of Douglas Peak. And then we came down on the right side of this little pond, worked our way over here, and then down to Four Creeks Lake, and that's where we camped out on that point right there. So next morning we get up, we start our hike down to Upper Golden Lake, and then up the pass.
So after going up that pass at maximum output, I decided that it was really a good idea to go swimming at 50 degrees with 30-mile-per-hour winds and 40-degree water. So that was a lot of fun.
Okay, this whole upper area where this pass is, probably 3/4 of a mile where you hike through it. It reminds you of a fjord.
And
Right. We walked through there and you were just
dumbfounded. Probably one of the coolest places I've ever seen. It was otherworldly. Really cool.
Yeah, you're right. The end of the 4th day, we arrive at Four Creeks Lake. We met somebody going up the second day.
Yeah,
He said he caught a 24-inch golden trout out of it.
there.
And so this whole time,
This
we're
is gonna be
drooling.
amazing. Yeah, there's going to be massive golden trout that we're going to pull out of this lake. It's going to be so cool.
Right, so we arrive, we don't set up camp or nothing. Jordan drops his pack, gets his pole out, and goes fishing. And for what, 45 minutes you fish?
Yeah.
And then I come find you and I ask you if you've caught anything, and not even a bite. Yeah, I'm ready to go to bed. It was just a little over 30 miles of trail work on our part to get here from the trailhead. Anyway, I wanted to say goodnight. This is the creek that comes out of Camp Lake, and we're fishing the inlet here into Four Creeks Lake. I've used a beetle and a green woolly bugger with a red attractor and a Rapala. Got some Jordan's used different flies, woolly bugger, orange scud, a green scud. A lot of fishing, no catching. This is the outlet of Four Creeks Lake.
This is the river between Four Creeks Lake and the lake below. Jordan and I have fished the creek and have fished this lake near the inlet, and we haven't caught anything, not even a stripe. So how was fishing today?
Fishing was non-existent. Yeah, it was hundreds and hundreds of casts and no bites.
Yeah, not good. So we'll be leaving tomorrow morning.
Go out, fish, and
Nothing.
yeah,
All the way around the lake, we fished the river going down.
Yep.
You fished the next lake where the inlet is.
Yep.
That area. No strikes. I spent a ton of time in the river. I thought, you know, I fly through there, I'm gonna get something. Because there were some beautiful holes.
Yeah.
And I would fly through there and nothing. No signs, no little guppies, nothing. It was like it was sterile.
Yeah. You started to get kind of a bad feeling about it.
Yeah. When did you start to realize that we weren't going to catch any fish at that lake?
I mean, I didn't give up hope until the very end.
Once we'd fished the river, and there was nothing in that river, I was like, we're not going to catch anything.
Good night.
Those are otters. Must have a home there. So they went underwater and they're not coming out. Jordan, what did you think of this campsite?
It was cool to be on top of stuff.
Yeah, this kind of overlooks the whole lake. It's a beautiful spot. We're at about 9650 elevation here, and we've got to climb up to about 11.2, I believe, today. And then we're going to head on over to Lower Golden Lake, and that's where we're going to camp tonight.
And hopefully catch some golden trout.
Yeah!
That would be awesome if we could.
All right, we made it to Camp Lake, 1.4 miles from Four Creeks Lake to here, 700 feet in elevation gain. A lot easier coming up than going down, I'd have to say.
Yes.
Even though it was uphill.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah.
It was less meandering too.
Much less.
So, let's keep going.
Okay. That's where we're headed, right up there. Some interesting colors on that rock. And these are the foothills of the pass. Jordan's working his way up the pass. All right, 3.6 miles from camp this morning to the top of the pass. Almost 2,200 feet in elevation gain. This is Jordan's private mountaintop swimming pool. It is pretty freaking cool. I mean, it's the size of a pool. You can see how crystal clear it is. And how cool it's placed. Coming down the pass, and we're coming back to Upper Golden, Louise, and Golden in that sequence. The furthest one is where we're going to camp tonight. Well, we're here at Upper Golden Lake. Okay, we're at the bottom of Upper Golden. Here's Lake Louise. It's supposed to have 13-inch golden trout in Upper Golden and Louise. This is Golden Lake. We made it to our camp at Golden Lake. 7 miles from our camp this morning to here. So 3,200 feet in elevation gain. That's a lot. We started our camp here, came up through the forest, climbing this here, about 700-800 feet of elevation gain. And then we picked up the trail right in this area here. Came up this trail, up the switchbacks, up through this fjord, across the snowfield to about 11,000 feet where we peaked at the pass, and then over to Jordan's personalized swimming pool.
and came down here to Upper Golden Lake, past that, past Lake Louise, and to Golden Lake, where we're camped about right here. At Golden Lake having dinner. Beef stroganoff. What you having, Jordan? Well, he just filled his mouth. So Jordan went fishing. Pretty much the same result as Four Creeks Lake.
Not pretty much exactly the same. I don't think I had a bite. I don't think there's any fish to speak of in here. I haven't seen any, 5-inch, 6-inch little ones.
We hiked back up to Camp Lake, up to the pass, up through the fjord again.
Yep.
And then we hiked down to Upper Golden Lake, past that, go to Louise, past that,
Go to Golden.
And same thing, you get there, you decide just to
Fish.
And you came back about an hour later fishing.
Nothing.
Same thing.
Same exact thing.
And then you even went up the river between Louise and Golden Lake and nothing, no evidence. It's like bizarre. It's like, what is going on?
So my guess is that they were stocked with golden trout at one point, but they've just been overfished and understocked.
After 6 days of not catching any fish, I'm really discouraged. For heavy duty fishermen, backpackers,
Right.
for us to go 6 days without catching a fish, that's never happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the Wind Rivers. I couldn't. Oh, all right. So this is good night. Good morning. It's the beginning of the 7th day. We're here at Golden Lake, and we're going to be packing up here shortly and heading on down to North Fork Lake. There are cutthroats in North Fork, and we're going to have fish dinner tonight. What are we having for breakfast, Jordan?
I got blueberries and granola from Mountain House. One of the most
Delicious meals they make.
I like this one. I like this a little bit better, honestly, than the granola from Peak Refuel.
But for variety's sake, I really like the Peak Refuel.
Yeah, mix it up.
So Jordan was saying that he likes being the camp cook because he likes measuring things.
I guess, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I get to sit in one spot. That's probably more realistic.
You don't have to move, especially after we've done the hike for the day.
Yeah.
Probably in the morning. See, this morning I'm invigorated. I'm moving around freely, not even a thought. But after a day of hiking, like yesterday, 7 miles, 3,300 feet in elevation gain, I was plastered. I mean, I was just like useless. I was able to get the tent up and everything in the tent and then take a nap. And then Jordan came, thank goodness, and made dinner. I probably wouldn't have had dinner if it wasn't for Jordan. This was a beautiful campsite. We're going to be hiking 9 miles over to North Fork Lake. We're going to be going up over Hay Pass.
Well, we're going to leave Golden Lake. All right, let's do it. Okay. Is that fish tube out here?
This is the other end of Golden Lake. Climbing up from Golden Lake. Beautiful creek flowing in there. God, that's beautiful. You can see Lake Louise there, and Golden Lake, and then coming this way, this is going down the Bull Lake Creek drainage. That's looking down towards Sassafras Lake. It's supposed to have 19-inch Goldens in it, but I wouldn't believe it unless I was actually there and did it. You can see Upper Golden, Louise, and Golden Lake all at the same time. We're at Dennis Lake. Up to Angels Peak.
200 yards from the top of Hay Pass. We're standing on the top of Hay Pass. As you can hear, it's really, really windy. Yeah. Anything you want to say about our hike up? It's a challenge. This wind and staying warm has been a challenge. 2 miles from our camp this morning to here, and that's 1,860 feet in elevation gain. We're standing at 10,971 feet above sea level. Looking down the other side of Hay Pass. That is where we came from. That up there is Hay Pass. This is the North Fork Boulder Creek in-stream pond. I think he's got one. Exactly, that's where it jumped.
Is this 8-inch, 10-inch cut?
Yeah. It's the first shot of Victor Lake. We've been walking by Victor Lake for probably a half a mile, and it just keeps going and going and going, and that's, I believe, the end of it down there. 9 years ago, we camped 2 nights. Straight ahead, I believe, and then we ended up hiking up Europe Canyon and fishing a lake up there that had some absolutely gorgeous cutthroats in it. We actually had brought in float tubes, and we were able to go out on the water, and we'd have like 5 or 6 cutthroats swimming around our float tubes as we floated in the water. It was so fun. This junction here from our camp this morning was 9.8 miles, 4,400 feet in elevation gain. Tomorrow we're going to be heading over towards August Lake if there's no thunderstorms. If there are thunderstorms, we're going to be going down this direction. Add, I think, about 4 or 5 miles to our hike. Jordan's down finding camp. I'm going to head on down there and we're going to get ourselves set up. Old pile of bear scat. And this is a big boy. Been eating grass. Doesn't look like he got an animal. It's dry though. See how fat it is. 10.6 miles right to this spot. We're gonna set up our tent. Over there on the mountains there behind the tent, you can see how bare it is, and that's because there was a forest fire there years ago. We're the what? The North Fork Lake fishermen, and we're gonna go get our dinner. All right, let's hope we do. Aha! Dinner! Using a silver Castmaster with the reflector tape. The North Fork Lake fisherman has struck again. And that is a cutthroat, beautiful. Probably about, that's gotta be about 13 inches. It'll make for a nice meal tonight. Another cut. About the same size. The objective was to catch dinner, and we've done it. We've got 3 fish. I filleted them, and we're gonna go up, start a fire. Okay, the fish are on the fire. Cutthroat trout fillets, ghee, and Zatarain's blackened seasoning. How do they turn out, Jordy, usually?
Best damn fish made.
The cutthroat trout fillet feast. comment. No words can describe. Okay, I gotta eat before he eats it all. It had been very windy today. Had one gust of 60 miles an hour.
I would bet 60 to 70.
Now pick me up off the ground. The wind's still kind of going, but it's coming this direction. So we found this nice rock and put the fire up against it. What we do is we burn the aluminum foil that we cook the fish in because it has that fishy flavor plus the butter. A bear would really like that. As a matter of fact, I did see bear scat right up over here somewhere. So once the oil, the butter, and the fish smell have burned off the foil, and then the fire cools down, we'll remove all the foil and pack it out. Chef Jordan, what do you got there?
I have creme brulee from Backpacker's Pantry.
It is the best dessert ever in my mind. I think it was
really
better than the chocolate cheesecake, didn't you?
Yeah. This is Backpacker's Pantry creme brulee.
Let's see if it really is as good as you say it is. I'll be able to tell by looking. Yeah, I think it is as good as you say it is. Now we're going to take a tour of the area from our dining room. North Fork Lake.
This is what we did today. We started at Golden Lake and worked our way up the switchbacks here past Dennis Lake, up over Hay Pass, and then down through the North Fork of the Boulder, down through North Fork Canyon, down here past Lake Victor, and here to the North Fork Lake Junction. And we came up over, I think we're probably somewhere in this area here camped.
So out of Golden Lake you climb steep, and then you come up on a ledge, and there's Dennis Lake, and you're kind of going up gently, and then you climb again and then go up over Hay Pass.
That wind was just so incessant. That was the worst wind we had on that trip.
We went down the North Fork of the Boulder Creek. That was beautiful going down there, and that way you caught your first fish.
I was thinking, finally. And it was not really much.
It's like a 10-incher. You caught 2 fish on that lake.
Yeah.
So we got to North Fork Lake.
And it was right off the trail, not 50 feet, that we found a spot, but we were just too tired at that point to do anything other than that.
What was your favorite part of the day?
Catching the fish.
We were getting a little panicky, weren't we?
After 7 days of not catching a fish.
In the Wind Rivers.
That's bizarre.
It's almost like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it is weird. But I'm super glad that we did.
Yeah, so you caught 4 today, I caught 2.
But I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed now.
All right, good night.
Okay.
All right, Jordan, what did you think of this campsite?
It's a good campsite. Yeah, I sat out of the wind, and there wasn't a lot of wind once the day ended yesterday. It was quiet.
Got cold last night, though.
Yeah, but no wind made it not feel so cold.
Yeah, no wind. It frosted our tent, and our fly was drenched.
Yeah.
So,
Up over Hat Pass.
Let's do it. The view from August Lake, about a half a mile from our camp this morning. Jordan's using a Jake Spinalure Gold 1/4 ounce. Looks like he got some moss. No go. We're here at Ramboud Lake, and that's the trail we're going up. Jordan's down there trying to catch fish. See if there actually is any in there, and I don't think there is. We're at 10,062 feet, 1 mile from camp this morning. Someone once said, yard by yard it's hard, inch by inch it's a cinch. That's what I'm going by. And I wouldn't say that it's a cinch. I think that's Ramboud Lake. That's right down there. We're looking back where we came from. It was 3.1 miles from camp to here and a 1,600 foot elevation gain. We're at 10,830 feet above sea level. 300 yards down from Hat Pass. map that I'm using says that from North Fork Lake to this junction is 4.6 miles. In reality, it's 5.9 miles. And the elevation gain from our camp to here was 2,078 feet. Up there is Timico Lake. You can see straight ahead that there's a pass there, and you could get over to Upper Golden from right there, and it would be a lot easier than Angel's Pass. But this is a beautiful place, is it not? Timico Basin. Okay, we're at the junction that takes us down to Chain Lakes. It's called the Bell Lakes Trail. To here, from camp this morning, was 6.65 miles, and the elevation gain was 2,400 feet. Making our way down towards Chain Lake and this beautiful meadow. It smells like green grass. I believe that's Spruce Lake. This is the Chain Lakes. There's one there, one there, one there, and one down even lower. There's like 4 lakes here, or 5. As you can see, Jordan's gone. He went down to Spruce Lake, and probably 2008 or something, Jordan and I were fishing Spruce Lake, and I caught a 6-pound cut bow, and he caught a 3-pound brown down there. He's excited. He's gone down there. He left about a half hour ago. In the meantime, my job is to get the tent put up right here.
Here I am at Spruce, hoping to make up for some lost fishing time and hopefully pull out a big fish. There was no luck fishing Spruce today. I had one solid bite. It seemed like he was really aggressive, but I only had him on for like 2 seconds, I think.
We were camped here this morning, and we hiked over here to this junction. Picked up the Fremont Trail past August Lake, past Rambowed Lake, climbed up the Hat Pass, and then we hiked down here past Sequoia Creek to this junction, came up to this trail, which is the Bell Lakes Trail, and came across this here and down here to this trail junction, and then we are camped in this area right here. Hat Pass was pretty nice, and then we dropped down, went across the Timico drainage, and we get down into area where we'd actually been before, the Bell Lakes Trail. Pull into Chain, and that was a 10-mile day.
And I felt great that day.
And I didn't.
And you did not.
So you just set up and went fishing.
The one where I decided I wanted to go to Spruce Lake. So I go down there. I've paid my dues. I'm due. So I get down there for an hour and a half, and about 30 minutes in, I got a really aggressive bite. And I remember getting the first bite and trying to set the hook, and then getting the second bite and setting, and then moving down the rock, and then it was gone. I thought I was due, but it's just sometimes how the chips fall.
Fishing God said, no, not for you.
Not today.
Good morning. It's our 9th and final day.
We got a long hike ahead. Yes, we do.
How long?
14, 15 miles. Hell of a day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. That's like 7 hours.
We'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
Nice hat, though. You're going to be going in style.
Yeah.
All right, shall we go?
We should do it.
All right. We're at the Pole Creek Bell Lakes Trail Junction, and as you can see, we're going to the Pole Creek Lakes. Another one of the Chain Lakes there. This will be the last shot of Chain Lakes. Well, we're at where we camped the first night. 4.1 miles from our camp this morning. Just need to wet my handkerchief. It's a great idea. Keeps my neck cool, my head cool actually. So from camp to here at Photographer's Point is 8 miles. All right, we made it to the end.
We did.
13 miles today, 2,600 feet in elevation gain. Sore feet, sore knees.
Yeah, my energy level's okay, but sore leg or sore foot.
It takes it out of you, just having something sore on you.
No, it's like you mentally have to steel yourself against it.
Yep.
Still fun though.
Okay,
I feel
all
pretty
right.
accomplished.
We're all wrapped up here.
Our camp was right in this area here. We came up to this junction and stayed on the Highline Trail up here to the Pole Creek Trail. Crossed Pole Creek here and then came up here, and then we took this trail over past Photographer's Point and all the way back to the Pole Creek Trailhead or Elkhart Park. What are your thoughts on that hike out?
It was fine until we did that river crossing, and then I think I lost my moleskin off it, and I thought it'd be fine. And I think it was 3 or 3.5 miles left, and my foot just lit on fire. It feels like someone is hitting my heel with the back of my heel with a hammer every time I step. What did you think about the hike out?
It was long, but
You were doing okay.
I turned on there at the last 4 miles. I knew we were going to do a lot of miles, so I brought a lot of moleskin, and we probably went through 15 sheets of moleskin. I bought a knee brace like 2 years ago and never used it.
I'd forgotten.
And I put it in the first aid. I'd put it in my first aid kit.
I was having trouble with my right knee.
First day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It finally got used.
Yeah, fortunately for me.
I figured it was a total of roughly 71 miles.
Okay.
Over 8 days. That is the longest hike that you and I have ever done.
Yeah, by a fair margin.
My overall thoughts on this trip. My thought is this: I am never going to plan a trip like that ever again, where we can't fish a lot.
Right.
Did 5 passes, like 7 drainages we passed through.
Up and down, and up and down, and up and down.
My point is, I'm never going to do that to us again. This was one of those hikes. We're tough, and we'll make it go right, and it'll just work out well.
Yeah.
And it did end up working out, but I wouldn't say that it worked out well.
Right. We made it fit. It was a square peg in a round hole.
Very well put.
Yeah.
For 2 fishermen, backcountry fishermen, to spend 9 days in the backcountry, and you catch a total of 4 fish.
And you caught 2.
And I catch a total of 2. Just you think
When
about
you
that.
say that, I guess I haven't really 2. 1, 2. Like a pair of fish. I can't even believe that.
And they were 13 inchers. It wasn't like we went into the backcountry and caught 6 28-inch fish each.
No. Yeah, that's crazy to think of. To not have a broken a fishing pole out until day 5 up there is almost sacrilegious.
Yeah, well, it turned out to be more of a backpacking trip than a fishing trip. All right, so do you have a final summation?
Still super stoked that we did it. It was way cool. That's a wrap.
So, until next time.